So I will say this, and there's another thing I want to say before I start everything. Yes, Tony, Peyton Manning is not in my top five quarterbacks of all time. The reason I said this is because a friend of mine, he said that he's been waiting to see me, and he wanted to get on me because I didn't make Peyton Manning. I didn't put Peyton Manning on my top five quarterbacks of all time. I thought it was funny. He's like, I've been waiting to see you because I wanted to talk to you about this. And I told him, I can't put him up there due to his playoff performances. Those are going to ride with him. We can look at his statistics. We can look at everything of his numbers. We can look how smart he is. We can talk about how much of a great teammate he is, and people love him. And they can talk about his stupid dumb brother and his dad and Cooper, and we can talk about the whole Manning family. And that's the same thing why Aaron Rodgers isn't in my top five. Aaron Rodgers has numbers. Aaron Rodgers has the stats. He has the MVPs. He has everything. But those playoff performances, you just wonder about this guy. So for somebody who's supposed to be as great as him, you mean to tell me you only have one Super Bowl appearance, one Super Bowl championship game that you could have possibly have. It was there for you against Tampa Bay, and when the Green Bay Packers were coming back, you found a way how to piss it off. San Francisco, yeah, that defense may have harassed you, and then they'll say, well, he doesn't have help. Well, you know something? I'm not going to go with they didn't have help because they made it to NFC Championship games. I'm tired of when people want to just say, this person didn't have help, this person didn't have that. They're all NFL players. So you mean to tell me that these guys are generic 1, generic 5, and generic 10? No, these guys made it on a roster. These guys made it to an NFC Championship game. They won divisions. They helped these guys break everything. When you use these as excuses, then you basically are saying that it's okay that you lost the game. No, any pro can just say, we lost the game. There are no excuses. They made it. If you know what a team is going to do when they come after you, find a way how to counter it. We could say, well, the 49ers defense, they were collapsing that pocket. They made Aaron Rodgers look horrible. Yeah, you're right, they did. Run the ball. Well, they were too busy they were containing the run. Well, then it looks like you got a problem then, because every time this man drops back to pass, Nick Bosa, Arik Armstead, and everybody else were just all in him. We can say the same thing about Tampa Bay. Same thing with Peyton Manning. No matter where he went, his playoff performances are not that spectacular, and that's why he's not in my top five. The stats, the MVPs, the Super Bowl championships are good dressing, and they're good for icing. But you're forgetting a lot of other things that happened in this man's career. That's where a lot of people now who watch the sport, they want to give certain players excuses as to why it's okay that they failed. Now, I'm no Tom Brady. I don't believe Tom Brady. Let me back up real quick. I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I acknowledge his greatness. Because I was the main one thinking that, well, he's in the perfect situation in New England. Then he goes to Tampa Bay, and even a better situation. The man takes advantage of everything. He knows how to take advantage of every opportunity that is given in front of him. And you know what? He's just like Edge. He's the ultimate opportunist. You can't knock him for it. Take advantage of it. Yeah, I call him the ultimate opportunist. Opportunist. but he doesn't falter. He's not giving an excuse. Well, I couldn't win because I didn't have Bill Belichick there. Oh, but you know something? But you know what? He had Bruce Arians out there, one of the best offensive masterminds out there, and he knew the strengths and the weaknesses, exactly what to do. When you have players all across the board, and you're still finding a way to lose AFC Championship games, you want me to say, okay, well, this guy should be top 5 because of his numbers? No. Let's look at the bigger picture here. The bigger picture is this: he's top 10. That's just it. That Super Bowl appearance that when they played Chicago in 2000, was it 2005 or 2006? That's all fine and dandy, and congratulations on them doing that. It was 2005. But that Super Bowl was not impressive to me. Your appearance was not, your performance didn't impress me. And just like I said about when I always talk about certain players, if you're going to be great, especially in the big games, if you're going to be the MVP, don't be the MVP just because you're the quarterback and you put up over 200 yards and you throw a couple of touchdowns. When you're an MVP, you got to be the reason why. And I really felt that they gave Peyton Manning that Super Bowl MVP just because, well, he's the quarterback. He threw for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's just go ahead and give him the Super Bowl MVP, just like his brother. He just like his brother Eli, when they won those Super Bowls, and he was the 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He wasn't the reason why they won the game. The defensive line was. Anybody along the Giants defensive line, if you would have gave them the MVP, I would have been like, they were the turning point. Don't just give it to them because they're a quarterback, but you're the reason. So yes, Peyton Manning is a top 10 quarterback by far, but he won't crack my top 5. I'm sorry, I just went on a rant. I had to go on a rant. So let's NFL training camp news that we do have. Well, let's put it like this. See that DeShaun Watson's not going to be traveling with the team when they for their preseason opener. That just shocked you. So apparently, GM Nick Caserio told Sports Radio 610 in Houston that Watson won't be going to Green Bay. Looks like there's a lot of stuff going on, all the speculation, everything that's going on with them since these allegations have came up against sexual abuse, and I believe that there's over 20 women who accused him of sexual assault. I'm going to reserve everything because everybody's going to say, well, in the numbers, if 20 people are all saying that he did this, and that means that's got to be true. No, I'm not in that room with him. I wasn't in the room there. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. Unlike a lot of these other people who are quick to want to criticize, scrutinize, and sacrifice, and damn this man, and all this other stuff. I'm reserving everything until everything comes out. The reason why, because there has been a lot of people, I'm not going to say men, but a lot of people have been falsely accused due to just somebody saying that this person did this. And then when you find out the truth, then what? That person's name is already tainted. But this is just really something knowing that Houston and their franchise quarterback isn't is not going to be there in Green Bay. With this being only 3 preseason games, you need to get in all the reps that you can. You got to practice. You got to get it good with everybody. And if you're not there, then why are you in camp? Especially with this player. I don't know. This is just so helter skelter. But I'm going to reserve my judgment until everything comes out. All right. So another thing is that I want to say this: the media is the biggest bunch of groupies of all time. Haven't you noticed? I love, and just let me make sure that I got into the media because I wanted to talk sports. You talk sports with your friends. You all kick knowledge. You all talk together, give out facts, stats, talk about games, this and that. Why not get paid for it? But damn it, when you just sit there and report about how much this person's getting paid, and you guys are sitting there like a bunch of groupies, oh, this guy's about to get paid. This person's about to get this much money. Oh, he'll probably get this much money. Oh, he'll get this. He's going to probably reset the market and get this much money. Like Josh, when Josh Allen got, just resigned. I believe he signed a 5-year deal with the Bills for over $200 million. Oh, they were all on it. They were talking about it, sending out tweets. I was reading tweets what other players were saying about it. Oh, he got paid. He got paid. I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, wow. Y'all are a bunch of groupies just sitting here waiting, thinking that you guys are going to get it, like they're going to buy you something. And then other people, oh, he got the bag. He got the bag, but you ain't getting any of it. You think that he's going to give you 10 cents? Who cares? The guy signed it. That's good for him. But y'all over here ranting about it getting all in this man's pockets. Who cares? You know what? That's fine. But the media is really bad about that. The media is really bad about what a player got, how many years. Like they're getting in the person's pockets. Like, oh my God, he got this much money. He's getting this and this much, and he got this signing bunch, and it's all on the bottom line. Talk about this, and then you're talking about all these people tweeting about it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, damn. I'm gonna tell you when I started when I couldn't stand this. And I never really paid attention to it. But I remember when Jordy Nelson. No, it wasn't Jordy Nelson. So, I remember when Jimmy Graham. That's who it was. When Jimmy Graham became the highest paid tight end. Everybody was all on there talking about he's the highest paid tight end in the league. And then you even had these female reporters. Yes, I said female reporters because they looked like they were a bunch of groupies. This one woman kept talking to him. The whole interview was about how much he's getting paid. Like, she's over here trying to be like, so you're getting this much money, huh? So this is what you got, and you're considered the richest tight end. Oh, so what are you going to do with all that? So, how does it feel to know that you got this much? Oh, so, it was just like she was sizing him up. Like, she was like, well, why don't you take me out tonight and spend some of that money on me? That's what I was like, this is getting ridiculous. And you know what? It's good to, fine. Talk about it. But talk about the guy. But we want to know about the damn team. That's why we're on the NFL Network, because we want to know what's going on. So yeah, the media is a bunch of groupies. Oh, he got paid this much money. He's getting this. He's getting that. Are you getting some of it? If not, no. Then shut up. Just let's go ahead and just say, he resigned his deal, and yeah, it's a 5-year deal. And that's fine. NFL, the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame was they elected some people into the Hall of Fame. Again, Peyton Manning was in there. Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher, who should never have waited so long to get in there. Drew Pearson is another guy who should have never have waited to get in. Charles Woodson, I'm glad that he got in there. I believe he shouldn't have waited. Calvin Johnson, I'm up in the air with. I don't believe he should have been a first ballot, and I'll say the reason why. He should not have been I don't believe he should have been a first ballot. If you're making somebody like Sterling Sharpe wait, why is Calvin Johnson in there? And everybody's gonna say, "Well, Calvin Johnson, that's Megatron." No, you know what? I know who Megatron the Merciless is. Calvin Johnson is nice who he is. But he ain't no Megatron. But Megatron the Merciless don't care about nobody but himself. This guy loves his team. I'll call I'll call him we could call him Galvatron, but he ain't no Megatron. Sorry, I had to go there. Okay, let's get that. I just had to go there. But Sterling Sharpe should not be waiting to get into the Hall of Fame. He shouldn't be waiting over 20, going on 30 years to get into the Hall of Fame. For 7 years, Sterling Sharpe, when he was in the league from 88 to 1994, he was the man. When he was there, he was considered probably one of the top receivers in the league. It was Jerry Rice and Sterling Sharpe. And they were interchanging. We already considered Jerry Lee as probably the greatest receiver of all time, and especially in that era. But people don't really talk about Sterling Sharpe. Why? Because he's playing in Green Bay alongside, and they weren't going nowhere. Sterling Sharpe did it, and I may be a big John Taylor fan, and I'm a huge Jerry Rice fan, but Sterling did it without a sidekick. I was looking up his numbers, and one thing is that I use Pro Football Reference to so I can be able to look at stats. So that's where I go to look at my stats and just verify. And I looked at his years in his 7 seasons. His best sidekick was Robert Brooks in 1994. Perry Kemp, he had a couple of back-to-back 500-yard seasons, 2 touchdowns. Jackie Harris was also second leading interceptions at some time. But Robert Brooks in 1994 had 58 receptions for 648 yards and 4 touchdowns. This man did it without a sidekick. I believe if I can recall, he's had over 3. I believe he had 4 seasons of over 1,000 yards receiving. He broke the 100-yard reception mark. The first time, 108, he broke the record in 1992, and then he broke his own record in 1993 with 112. Now the thing is, all the stuff that I'm saying right now, you have to realize this was not the league was starting to evolve, but this was around the time when defenses could really play defense. You had to work, and this man was doing this without any help. He was getting these receptions. He was made All-Pro 3 times. He's been on a couple of playoff teams in Green Bay. You have to take this into consideration. So if I'm saying about this reception mark, now it's just like it's common. Players are getting 130, 140 receptions. But this was at a time when you had corners like Deion Sanders or Eric Allen of the Philadelphia Eagles slash Oakland Raiders who really made you work. Me and my boy Titus, we were talking about that. And we basically said this league, the league now is just way too free. Because it's just all about getting butts in the seats, like, oh yeah, touchdown, go. But back then, you had to work. And if you got something, you got it. So, and this is why I can go along and say all this stuff about Sterling Sharpe about this, but let's just put it like, let's just say this. He was considered, with Calvin Johnson, when he was in the league, he's always been considered one of the top receivers in the league around that time. So was Sterling. But because his career was cut short due to a neck injury, this man's not even considered. And this is why I feel that it's not fair. Terrell Davis, his career was cut short due to after he messed off his ACL, but he was a Super Bowl MVP. He's got the 2,000 yards. He's got the numbers, and he was put in there. I'm not taking anything away from him because he was dominant. He was dominant from the first, since he took that starting spot in Denver, all the way to that injury. He was considered one of the top running backs. If you also remember, he came in with Curtis Martin. So when these guys played, they were considered tops. But my man Sterling Sharpe, he just happened to play on a crappy ass Green Bay team. He got with when he started, he was playing with Don the Magic Man Mikowski. And we all know, and then he got Brett Favre, who was just killing Mississippi, or that's me and my boy, we say kill Mississippi interceptions. He was just throwing interceptions all over the place. And I forgot, he was also drunk. He was on painkillers all the time too. He never got to play with the Brett Favre from 95 on. He got Brett Favre in 94, but he didn't get him in 95. But he didn't get that 95 Brett Favre. He didn't get 96 MVP Brett Favre. Too bad, right? Imagine that guy with Sterling Sharpe. He probably would have shattered Jerry Rice's touchdown record. I said it, and I'm a huge Jerry Lee Rice fan. So I'm making my claim today, and I will always say this when it comes to this time of the year. Sterling Sharpe should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Shannon, you are in the Hall of Fame. I know that you advocate for your brother more than anybody. But you need to cape for him. Badly. So one thing that I was talking about